Hey, what's up guys? Fish Tank Mike here. Today we're doing some work on the Nano tank shelf. We're going to be rescaping that tank that you saw me cleaning up there in the beginning. So we're doing a bunch of stuff today. We also have to fix our waterfall tank. One of our waterfalls stopped working. I think I need to replace the piece in there that sucks the sand in. So kind of a headache, but we'll get it done. But let's get back to the rescape of that Nano tank. I think you guys are really going to like this one. It's simple, it's easy, it would be cheap to reproduce it, and I think it's going to look really good. Alright guys, so we're not quite done yet. We got to figure out a spot for our mermaid here, of course, but what I really want to do is fill up the tank and then see how this jungle valve, or whatever type of valve this is, I can't remember what we ended up putting in here, but it's a shorter variety. I don't think it's going to get very tall, but anyway, I want to see how it looks with the filter going, and then I think I want to put in a few more pieces in the back here, and then maybe even get some taller ones here in the front. Now that we have that plugged in, we can get an idea of how much this stuff is going to flow around. Ideally, I don't want it to be blowing around all crazy, but this is looking pretty good so far. So we have minimal movement of it. It's inevitable though. I mean, once that stuff gets growing, and it definitely will, even though I think it's a shorter variety, it's still going to be too big, or end up being too big for that tank, but I think we're good right now. For those that are curious and people that didn't see the original video where we set this tank up, our filter is this little AQUAPROS Filto Smart 60 canister filter that just sits behind the tank. We of course have a white background, or a white piece of construction paper on the back so that you can't see it. I think if you're gonna run a filter on a tank this size, this is a 6-gallon water box aquarium, this filter is pretty good. You could definitely run it on a tank that's a little bigger, I mean probably up to a 10-gallon aquarium, but it works out pretty good for this. The alternative is of course an HOB filter, and I just didn't want to have anything hanging on the back this time. And speaking of AQUAPROS, we recently got a little care package from them, so we got another Filto Smart 60, that same filter, and then we also got some other stuff that we're going to be playing around with here. The first thing I wanted to show you though is this digital thermometer that they now have up on their US website, and it's like a digital readout, but it's like invisible, so if we get the right angle there we can see it. So on the big tank we got about 75 degrees Fahrenheit, and it works by reading the temperature of your aquarium through the glass. So it has this little sensor on the back, and it has some sticky stuff around it to adhere it to your aquarium, and I think it's pretty accurate. When I compare it to the temperature readout that I get over here from the current loop system, it's about within half a degree, so I'd say that's pretty good. And I just wanted to try these out because I thought it was kind of futuristic, like it's one step away from just being like a little bar that has a heads-up display that'll display it on the glass. I think that is something that would be really awesome to see, but this is pretty close to that. You guys know me, I prefer to use real natural stuff when it comes to rocks and wood, parts of the hardscape, but I think stuff like this definitely does have a place. I think that this rock formation is made out of fiberglass. Don't quote me on that. I'm sure it's on their website. But as you can see, we have an underside that looks like that. And the reason why I got this and a few of the other ones is because I think this vibe that the rock has might be perfect for a new desert style tank. I've been having a really hard time lately trying to find the right pieces of petrified wood that I would otherwise use, so I wanted to give this a shot and see how it might work out. Here's the other piece of that same style of rock, and my original idea was to kind of stack them, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that because the bottom is like this. We're going to have to get these two pieces in a tank and mess around with them first. I thought this box might be another piece of hardscape, but now I'm remembering that I just got those two, so this is some other stuff. We got some magnet cleaners of a couple different sizes, big one and a small one, and then we also got some plant scissors. I think 2 pairs of plant scissors, curved. That's the good stuff. And then what's this? And then we got a scraper. Okay. Then in here we have a wave pump. pull this guy out. So we got the Stream Max Classic 2000. I'm assuming that's a 2,000 gallon per hour power head pump. I think this is another one of the newer products that they have, at least in the US. So they wanted me to try that out. I'm sure we can find a use for that. But yeah, guys, Awaza's got a ton of really cool stuff on their website now, the US version, so you can get these things in the US now. I know for the longest time, and still, a lot of their products are only available in Europe, where they're based, and so now that we're starting to get some more products in, some more variety, I think you should definitely go check out their website. I'll have links in the description, of course, and we thank them for being such a great channel sponsor and hooking me up with all this stuff. This is awesome. Alright guys, let's finish out this tank. Let's go grab some more plants and we'll finish it off. There you have it, guys. I think the tank is pretty much where I want it to be. I just wanted to go for this kind of flowy feel to an aquarium, just really simple, soft on the hardscape, and just focus on the plants and the fish. We have one Kurai Tetra that's still floating around in here. He's gotten a lot bigger than when we put him in initially, so we'll be pulling him out here pretty soon and putting him with his brothers and sisters and cousins and aunt and uncles. Most of the fish in here are, of course, the chili rasboras, and so you know we had to swap out our static cling for a chili rasbora to match what we have in the tank. There's a little bit of algae that we weren't able to get out of this thing, primarily on the hair grass, and stuck to a couple of the rocks in the back. I did my best to get out most of it, but we'll have to just keep an eye on that, and hopefully with time, now that we've changed up the Scape a little bit, it has some kind of an effect on that algae. You never know, we'll just have to wait and see. So besides the whatever val we put in here, we also did put in a couple of, I believe they're tiger lotus bulbs that sprouted off a couple leaves, and so this stuff gets big. We'll eventually have to take it out, but I just thought the little pop of color would be nice in just the next few weeks, couple months before they get really big and up at the top of the water. It'd be fun to look at those, so we put them in. And then besides hair grass and then the little bit of pearl weed that's still mixed in there, we'll just leave that, that's fine. We have some dwarf sage. We have some more dwarf sage that's in the big tank if we wanted to pull out more, but I think that's enough. Hopefully we get that stuff to grow a little bit better now that we don't have these giant trees blocking a ton of light. Hopefully it has what it needs and it can grow up a little bit bigger and blend in with the jungle val or whatever this stuff is. Just super simple, really easy to replicate, guys. If you're looking for plants, of course, check out Boost Plant. We got some codes down in the description. You can get pretty much all of this stuff on their website, as well as the rocks in here. That's where I got this stuff. I believe it's the desert stone, or it was the maple stone. I can't quite remember, but they got a ton of stuff. So, of course, check that out. If you need some stuff, we're gonna get to this one. Remember, we let this get this way. Our excuse was that we had all the shrimp in here breeding, but I think what I want to do is pull the shrimp out and put them into another tank, maybe actually even this one. Hopefully the chilies don't get too crazy on them, and then we can really get in here, clean this all out, and I don't know, maybe it's time for a rescape. Let me know what you think we should do with this tank. We have a placeholder in here. We took out the little paludarium, and I just made a cute little bamboo thing in the meantime, so we still got to pull Red out of this tank and put him in his new home. He just really loves this tank, so I don't know. I think the next video, just in case you're wondering, is going to be trimming these trees. I want to get in here and hack a bunch of them back, try and keep everything alive, of course. As you can see, we have a floater. There's just so much Monte Carlo on this thing that it doesn't want to stay down, so we need to do some work. I was finally able to capture the Coolie Loach crawling into a tree. It's over on my Instagram. It's one of the reels. I don't know, that should be pretty easy to sort for if you want to see that. It was pretty funny. So anyway, guys, I think that's going to do it for today's short video. I hope you had fun watching me redo that tank. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments, and if you want to get your hands on some stickers, some magnets, some static clings of a bunch of different types of fish, of course, check out the stickers, magnets, cling store, link in the description with everything else that we used and did today. So thanks again, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.